was so dramatic. So someone passed out on me in church and got escorted up the stairs and drug him down into the another one was cutting his hand.
Hey, choir. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Shabbat service. Thank you for joining us. Special welcome to our guests tonight. Hope I can read my writing. Julia and Michelle Hemingway, Kevin and Barbara Millard, Roberta and Jean Sauls. Did I get it right? My handwriting is terrible. I'm very sorry. Okay, please join us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock when Shane Bates will be called to the Torah for his bar mitzvah. On Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, we will gather here again to celebrate the life of Carol Gladstone, a founding member and a shining light of this temple. Our next Shabbat service will be on Friday, April 7th, followed immediately by a congregational Seder. I am both pleased and very sorry to tell you that the Seder has reached capacity. So if you've already booked, we look forward to enjoying the Seder with you. And if you haven't, we're really sorry. The next service after that will be on Friday, April 21st, and we hope to see you then. Thank you to the Bates family for tonight's oneg. There is a sign-up sheet in the lobby for members to participate in our onegs. We strongly encourage every member to participate at least once each year. There are open slots, and if nobody signs up for them, we will not have onegs on those nights. So please look at the list if you haven't already and sign up or contact Susan Newman. David Casriel will be here at the temple this Monday, March 20th from 10 to 11 a.m. to collect food donations for this month's Dining with Dignity. Please let David know what you plan to bring. On Friday, March 24th, next Friday, there will be a congregational Shabbat dinner, and that is open to the first 50 members to register. There are still openings. Please contact Sharon Rice if you have questions or care to register. Please join Ways and Means for our second annual Passover Spirit Day picnic at Treaty Park on Sunday, April 2nd. There are polo and t-shirts available for sale with the Temple Bet Yam logo on them. There are samples in the office if anyone wants to see how the sizing is. Today is the deadline for ordering them. See Teresa Friedman or Bernie Levy for details. Birthdays for the second half of March. Yesterday, the 16th, Bobby Carmen and Teresa Friedman, two ever-ready bunnies. Tomorrow, March 18th, Julian Matlow will have his 4th birthday. On the 20th, Terry Wallach. On the 21st, Bob Feldheim. And on the 27th, Harvey Hoffman. Anniversaries for the second half of March. On the 27th, Donna and Elliot Pilevsky will celebrate their 41st anniversary. And on the 31st, Denise Mensch and Richard Zicht will celebrate their 17th. Please remember whenever you are doing a reading or a prayer or anytime you're speaking up here at all, use the microphone so that the people watching on streaming will hear you. If you don't use it, they won't hear you. And when the choir is singing, if you know the song, please join in. We're not performing, we're praying, so please join us. Please silence your cell phones. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Jane. It's a pleasure to be back after being in Israel. And let's start together with Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya lai 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 Ya la 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 הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבטחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבטחים גם יחד. הנה מה הטוב, שבטחים גם יחד. הנה מה הטוב, שבטחים גם יחד. Once again, Shabbat Shalom. A lot of things have happened since I was here before. People that, that we knew are not physically with us, and the honor of them always will be in this sanctuary, and the Spirit will be here, and will we honor Carol, one of them, this coming Sunday, and Claire as well. So this reminds me the importance of being alive, the importance of enjoying every single moment. I was speaking with Rabbi before we start the service, how sometimes we didn't see each other, and hopefully we have a lot of opportunity to see each other, so welcome. And being a rabbi, part of a congregation, is being part of the whole family, and it's once again a pleasure to be with colleagues and enjoying Shabbat as well. I spent time in Israel, as I shared with you, and we'll have, hopefully, by some of the Torah studies, a time to share stories. This was a very, I will call, moving time that we are facing today in Israel, from a political point of view, from a social point of view, and hopefully a situation that we have a country of 75 years old that is going through a lot of things, will be resolved soon, especially in the time that we are right now preparing for Pesach, on Passover, the time that we enjoy our freedom. I cannot say, somebody said to me, don't shoot the messengers, but before we started, or before I went to the Bima, somebody said to me, Rabbi, hopefully are we going to a trip to Israel as a congregation? And I have to say, why not? So a lot of things, and we're going to say in the Seder, Bashana Haba B'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem, hopefully a wish that, why not to think that someday it may come true. Here we have another boy who's becoming Bar Mitzvah Shane, and his whole family, Mazal Tov in advance, looking forward to have a wonderful, time with you, a time of celebration, a time that we enjoy life. So we welcome Shabbat by singing and inviting the choir to sing Shalom Aleichem, and Lisa, in your case, as the conductor, and the spirit of Mom is here, and as we say, on this special Shabbat that we close the book of Shemot, Chazak Hazak Benit Hasek, which means be strong, especially you, and hopefully the spirit of the congregation will help to be the person that you are. And we say as well, Amakom Inachem Otach, which means may the Lord will give you comfort as well as all of us. Page 627, we'll sing together Shalom Aleichem, which is the song, the prayer, the melody in which we welcome the Shekhinah, God's presence, into our midst by inviting the angels to come to our place, to be with us, and to enjoy as well with us, to leave us as well. 627, Shalom Aleichem.
Amen.
continue our service on page 120 with 121. I would like to invite Nicole and Emma Gates, and Shane is as well. Come to the bima.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. Read this. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Beautiful. And this is an opportunity to welcome those who as well are watching us through YouTube, here in St. Augustine, or any place in Florida, or any place around the world. Welcome you as well to our service, to this special Shabbat. We continue our service on page 138 and 139. We're going to be singing the Lechadodi. We're going to be singing 4 stanzas, and then the last one, we're going to be facing the door. If you're able, physically in spirit or in spirit, to welcome the Shabbat, the God's presence into our midst, the Shekhinah. Page 138, 139, Lechadodi. Kala, B'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lechadodi likrat 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 kala, B'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Kala, Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nehekabela. Lechadodi likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nehekabela. And once again, Bobby, Mazal Tov. Happy birthday for yesterday, Bobby, and always, as we said, till 120 years. And we know diaper as well. Page 144. 144, we continue our service with the Hatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'hitkadash shemer rava, v'alma dibra chirute, v'yamlik malchute, בחייכון וביומכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו רמם יש מרע במבורך, לעולם לעול בהלמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, בית בוער, בית רומם, בית נשא, בית הדר, בית תהלה, בית תהלל, שמי לקודשה וריק, לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, tush bechata benehemata damiram be'alma beimeru. On page 146, we continue with the Barhub. We'd like to invite Gary and the choir. Page 146. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever. We continue our service on page 148. 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, running light away from darkness, and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch atah Adonai, Amariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. We continue our service on page 152. 152. I'm going to ask you, Jane, as part of your bar mitzvah, to lead us in the Shema, to say together, and then we'll say together. And we cover, and the custom is to cover, you don't have the talit yet, you will have it tomorrow, but the custom is to cover our eyes and to say together, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. You may be seated. Page 154.
Ve'ehavta 8 Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavecha uv'chol navshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi matzavcha hayom al lavavecha uvishnantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha b'derech uvshochbecha
uv kumecha uk shartam laot al yadecha v'hayu latotafot bain a necha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lama on tis karu va'a sitem et kol mizvotai vihiyitem kadoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem mi eres
That's right.
Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. Adonai Elohim, amen. And in English, you shall love.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to the heart these instructions which I charge you this day. Recite them when you impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Blind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. I am Adonai your God.
Adonai Elohechem, amen. And this is the core of, Veshinantam lebanecha, and teach your children. So this is what we are doing, and we're leading services. As funny, as wonderful, as sometimes what I'm doing now is we are passing the baton. Your family is bringing, the possibility and opportunity to, to say, Jane, you are moving from one stage in your life to another. And this is Veshinantam lebanecha, and you will teach your kids. We continue our service on page 158, singing and rejoicing with a prayer that our ancestors sang as they crossed the Red Sea from slavery to freedom, from sadness to happiness. Page 158. Bam bam bim bim bam, yabadam bam bim bam. Yai lai la lai lai lai, yabadam bam bim. Bam bim bim bam, yabadam bam bim bam, yabam bam bim bim bam, yabadam bam bim bam, yai lai la lai lai lai, yala la bam bim bam, la 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 lai, yabadam bam bim bam. Bam bam bim bim bam, yabadam bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabadam bam bim bam. Yai lai la lai lai lai. Yai lai la lai lai lai. Bam bim bam. And again, when we pray something that reminds us how our ancestors crossed the Red Sea from slavery to freedom, from happiness to sadness, this is one of the wonderful prayers that we have in our faith in which we can express our happiness. We continue our service on page 162 with the words of Ismechu, those who keep Shabbat, by calling it is a delight, will rejoice in your realm. Page 162, Ismechu. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת.
השבי רצית בו הפקדשתו שבת, עמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת.
ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת מקורי אורי. Page 164, we rise together for the Amidah, which is the central part of a service. We're going to be starting together the prayers. Always I'm reading page on the right side, the left side are the translations. And you can use this time as well for a private and silent meditation. We're going to start on page 164, facing Jerusalem. Yara lai 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 Adonai. Yara lai 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 sfatai tiftach. Yara lai 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 ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tegilatecha. Yara lai 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 Adonai. Yara lai lai lai, yara lai 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 lai, sfatai tiftach. Yara lai 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 lai, ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tegilatecha. 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Agadol, Agivor ve'anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekoneh Hakol, Besocher Chasdei Apot, Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula, Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'aba, Melech Oser Moshiach Umag. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, Bezrat Sarah. 168. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. Moshiva Ruach Umorida Gashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rab. Somech Noflim Berofe Oholim. Umatir Asurim, Umekahaye Emunato, Lishenei Afal, Michamocha Bal Geburot, Umidomelach, Melech Meimid, Umekahaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Benemanata Lachayot Akol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye Hakol. 170. Ata Kadosh, Beshimcha Kadosh, Ukdoshim Bechol Yom, Yalucha Sela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ahel HaKadosh. You're holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai, El HaKadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We continue silently through page 180, concluding with the prayers of our own heart. This is the time to think about our week, to think about our family, to think about our community. After you finish, feel free to be seated. We continue silently. I was missing that, the choir, the song, so thank you once again for bringing the Shema to all of you, to the Spirit, to our congregation every Shabbat. The book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, the second book of the Torah, is a story of our people. And it begins with our being slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, then follows the Pesach story, the Passover story, through the birth of Moses, of Moshe, and his confrontation with Pharaoh. Following the 10 plagues, Pharaoh sends our ancestors out of Egypt, then pursues them through the Red Sea, and safely on the other side, our ancestors are free to go to Mount Sinai and receive the Torah, and the rest, as the saying goes, is history. The book of Shemot, the book of Exodus, finished with the building of the Mishkan, and this is what we are reading, this parasha. This, you're going to be reading the last verses of the book, and tomorrow we're going to say, Hazak, Hazak, Benit Hasek. The Mishkan is the portable sanctuary that will accompany our ancestors through the wilderness. And the closing chapters of the books are filled with such seemingly minutiae as dimensions, measurements, colors, placement of furniture, and the cost of construction, along with details of workmanship. On the surface, it is not the most compelling section of the Torah, and I'm sorry it was not the great part, but there is a moment as we see little purpose in combining through the list of details. And the key is to understand that the details themselves are not so much important. Significance lies, and the importance lies in the narration of the text. And at the end of the description, for example, we are told that Moshe set up the tabernacle. And he placed the sockets, he set up the planks, he inserted its bars, he erected a post, and he spread the tent over the tabernacle, and he placed the covering of the tent on top of it. And we are told that he took the pact and placed it inside the ark. He fixed the poles to the ark, he placed the cover on top of the ark, he brought the ark inside the tabernacle. And this reminds me, as we had, I was not there, but how Robert probably and others make this ark and place the Torah and the spirit that was done. And Moses, he put up the curtain for screening, and then he screened of the ark of the pact, and he placed the table in the tent of meeting outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle. And upon it he laid out the setting of whole offering. He placed the 7-branched menorah in the tent of meeting, and opposite the table of the south side. And he placed the altar of gold in the tent of meeting before the curtain. On it he burned aromatic incense. And after a few more assertions of everything Moses did, from constructing the sanctuary to conducting the ritual, we are told in the book of Shemot, when Moses finished all the work, the divine presence filled the Mishkan. And always I thought that it sounds as if Moses did everything by himself, as if the skilled artisans that we know, their name were Bezalel and Oliab, and the constructor and the workers did absolutely nothing. It is as if Moses single-handedly erected the Mishkan. Now, is it possible that Moses, Ish Anav Ad Meot, the humblest of all men, as the Torah calls him, suddenly became a mega malomaniac and insisted on doing everything himself? And we know some samples sometimes in the congregation when we have one person do something and sometimes others do other things. And all of you know always what happened. We criticize, we talk about. That's the game, correct? We talk about and say why he or she did that or did that. Is it possible that in this case Moses was not so humble and simply took credit for doing the work? Is it possible that he was such a micromanager that it was as if he did everything by himself? A friend of mine who I shared a time in Israel a couple of weeks ago offers and taught me a commentary that suggests that Moses, and this was Rabbi Joel Abraham, Moses felt a sense of urgency that everything be just right as the project approached completion. At the beginning of the project, Moses was content to let Bezalel and Oliav, the builders, the architect, and others do their job. But knowing that ultimately the construction of the Mishkan was his responsibility, Moses rolled up his sleeves and pitched in to make sure that everything was as it needed to be. He became involved in the project as a person who is, as we say, sometimes a meshugane, an incredible enthusiast, but he made the Mishkan his highest priority. It was not that Moses was a perfectionist, but rather Moses understood the significance of the Mishkan. By becoming so heavily involved, he taught our ancestors that building and maintaining the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was ultimately important, for without it, the Shekhinah, God's presence, the divine presence, will not be perceived among our people, and they will have no spiritual home. When we are caught up in a cause, when it really, really means a lot to us, then no matter how many assistants we have, no matter how many manual laborers we may have working for us, no matter how many people are on our committee, when the final moments of the project draw near, something inside us drives us to make sure that all of the pieces fit together. And yes, when the time is ticking to become bar mitzvah, we have to study all, and we have, to do right. We agree to be accountable for the success and the failures of the project, so much so that the project takes on our personality in spite of the fact that others completed the actual work. As the orchestra, some of us will go tomorrow, who needs especially skilled musicians in each section to the symphony, or in the sports, where we understand that the place for the leader is the pace of the game, or in the Israeli army, the generals or any other army do not say, "Go do it," but rather, "Follow me." And in the Torah it simply says, it was Moses who put up the Mishkan. May we, who are leaders, teachers, mentors, parents, whether it be in the synagogue or in the community organizations or in our businesses or in our homes, learn from Moses to accept responsibility and accountability to the point that we invest our emotions, our energy, and our resources to make sure that we need to gets done and well. And something important, as this Torah portion teaches us, everybody made his or her contribution to make the whole project. Everybody in which their heart spoke, in which their soul spoke, made and happened and made it possible. We're going to be, in a couple of weeks, affronting and confronting and celebrating Passover, Pesach, the holiday of our freedom. And I'm just heard when we started our service that in our congregation almost is full. That's a great sign. Why not to have much more people and come into our place? Because this means that all of us care. And as we say, those who are in need, those who need, please, Alachmania dia halua batana. This is the bread that our ancestors had. Those who are in need, please, can join us. Why? Because a project is for everybody, for all of us, to all of us. And as a community as we are, we see those who are in need, and we are there. Those who need food, those who need to be consoled, and we are there. And this is the function that we have to always remember. Let's learn, as we close this book of Shemot, to come together, to say together, Hazak, Hazak, Benit Hasek. Let's be strong, strong, and each day much more strong. Shabbat Shalom. It's a time in which we think about those who are not feeling well, those who will be, we ask for refuah shleima. We're going to be asking our members to say those names loud.
Mia Ingold and the Gladstone clan.
Liz Feldman.
The Hadley Kogan family.
Sherry Hamilton.
Earl Brown, Margaret Brown, the Gladstone clan, and the Colbert family.
Deborah Corper.
Patty Savage. Ken Smith, Kim Stevens.
Barbara Simon and Laurie Simon.
The Novies, Joe Cohen, and the Castles.
Nancy Sorkin, Don Rogers, Rhonda Jacques.
Frank Friedman, Karen Fisher, Karen Noroxide, and Don Shipley.
Cindy Weiss, Karen Merrill, Emily Stolting.
Rabbi Bill Rudolph.
Phyllis Handler.
Jane Seiden.
Thank you, Teresa.
Bev Darkash and Judy and Herb Deutsch.
I would like to add as well Patty Savage and Ruth Feldheim and Luis Guffer. Page 371, 371, we find prayer for the healing.
Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you. Please hear my prayer, O God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please hear me now. Don't hide your face from me. Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you. Please hear my prayer, O God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please hear me now. Don't hide your face from me. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please hear me now. Don't hide your face from me. Please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. Please heal me now. Don't hide your face from me. Please heal me now. Don't hide your face. Don't hide your face from me.
As well, if you are watching the service and you are not feeling well, we wish you as well refuah shleima, complete healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rachel, Rebecca, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill and in need of refuah shleima, a complete recovery. We continue our service on reading the prayer for all people. We'd like to invite Emma Bates.
We beseech you, O God, to shield and protect all of our armed forces in this land that we call our home, and also in our Jewish homeland, Israel. Guard and watch over all who serve us so gallantly in the name of peace and freedom, in the air, land, or sea. Watch over them, their families, and loved ones, and return them safely home to a grateful nation. Honor to all who serve in the name of peace and freedom. All of our first responders, fire, police, EMTs, and all who protect and heal, helpers, leaders, teachers, counselors, and chaplains. May each of us become vessels for peace, and may our prayers and efforts bring us closer to the prophetic vision where they will soon beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks, and nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Amen.
And we continue on page 586 as we rise together for Aleinu, 586. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים זר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. Page 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Welcome.
For Shaloshim, we remember Claire Collins and Carol Gladstone. For yard sites for this period, Nettie Kushner, mother of Phil Kushner; Warren Harris, brother of Roberta Feldman; John Colbert, uncle of Emily Brown, brother of Margaret Brown; Henry Goldstein, grandfather of Chuck Meiselman; Isidore Swickel, grandfather of Jane Swickel; Lillian Weintraub, mother of Stan Weintraub; Sadie Botnick, mother-in-law of Ronnie Botnick; Sidney Serkin, father of Arthur Serkin; Jules Swickel, uncle of Jane Seiden; Bernard Weintraub, father of Stan Weintraub; Jacob Tinkoff, grandson of Norman Tinkoff; John Peretti, father of Jen Sherman; Samuel Mensch, father of Myron Mensch; Edward Raskin, father of Rabbi Fred Raskin; Asher Pressman, husband of Gig Pressman; Ben Rubner, grandfather of Jamie Combs; Louis Marks, grandfather of Joe Marks; Yvette Cohen, grandmother of Merrill Goldman; Sonia Commissar, grandmother of Eileen Hoffman; Perry Satz, brother of Phyllis Greenfield; and Jan Kovacs, friend of Eileen and Harvey Hoffman. Thank you. Rabbi? Teresa will be coming for others. We remember.
Shloshim for Sandra Kapp.
Yard site for Phyllis Brown, my great aunt, and aunt of Earl Brown.
My mother and father,
Mr. and Mrs. Philip Bernstein, my aunt and uncle, Mr. Larry and Gilda Yeston, my aunt, Miss Esther Weiss, my grandmother, Miss Jenny Gray, and
I'd like to add as well David Estabrook. And this is the first time since I became the rabbi of Temple Etiam that happens that I know two of our members who will not be physically with us, as Carol, as Claire. And as we say in our tradition, Dorba, a generation comes, a generation goes. May always, their names always will be remembered for a blessing. And here we have the space, the choir, and in a way to celebrate life, and the way, in this case, of how Carol enjoyed singing and being with us. We're going to share her memory this coming Sunday at 10 a.m., celebrating her life. And I'd like as well to add, today as well, 31 years ago, March 17, 1992. Some of you may don't have a recollection, but in Argentina, this was the day that there was a bombing to the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires. And I served as a translator. I served at that time as a rescue member because I was in the hospital at the ER that day as a medical student. And similar situation happened 2 years later on July 18, 1994, which I was there as well, serving, and just a call, a deja vu to rescue. And in the first event, we don't know how many people passed away at the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires. In the second event, July 18, 1994, about 86 people passed away. To honor them, to remember them, may as well their memory always will be for a blessing. We'll rise as a congregation, 598, as we say the words of Morris Kaddish, Kaddish Yatom together. Itgadal Beitgadash Shemer Rava, Yalma Dibra Hirute Beamlich Malchute, Bechaechon Obiomechon, Uchaye Dechol Bet Israel, Parala Wisman Kari Bemru, Amen. Yeesh Me Bava Meborach, Leolam Umedme Amaya. Itbarach, Beishtabach, Beit Poar, Beit Romam, Beit Nafsa, Beit Adar, Beit Ale, Beit Al, Shemel Kodesha, Le'elam, Mikol, Brichata, Beshirata, Tushbechata, Benechemata, Tamiram, Be'alma, Bimru, Amen. Yesh Lama, Rava, Mishmaya, Bechaim Aleinu, Be'al Kol Israel, Bimru, Amen. Ose Shalom, Lomar, Uyase Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Israel, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say amen. We'd like to remember Iris Oliva as well, and to listen to your family, to Luis and to your family. We are as a congregation together, and we will be with you always. Let us say together, amen. You may be seated. And we'd like now to invite the Bates family come forward. For the last song, we're going to be doing the last song, the closing song by the choir, which once again, thank you. We're going to do then the benediction and the Kiddush Anamotzi here. And somebody, one of my teachers said to me, don't lose the opportunity to have the opportunity. And if you don't mind, since, this was a special year with all of, lot of B'nai Mitzvah, I'd like to ask all of the B'nai Mitzvah of the last of this year, if you come forward, come please to the, yes. And as well, Mora, Terry, if you don't mind, you as well, just to have this special Shabbat. So if you don't mind, guys, let's come together. We ask the choir to sing with us the closing song. If you don't know the words, we can sing La 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 Chu. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 let us for the benediction, if we can continue in the spirit, if we can grab the person who is next to you so that nobody is alone. Make sure that you got with somebody, if you don't mind, you can grab the person to do the last benediction. Okay? So, Avinu Shevashamayim, Eloi Abraham, Eloi Yitzchak, Eloi Yaakov, Eloi Sarah, Eloi Rivka, Eloi Leah, Eloi Rachel. God for our fathers and mothers, we ask a blessing for this world. We ask a blessing to our congregation in this special moment, in need, the special moment that we don't have to our souls that were physically with us, that hope that always will be their soul, their memory remember for a blessing. Adonai os lamoiten, Adonai yevarech et amo bashalom. Jane, please come forward. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Bore peri agafe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav beratza banu Beshabbat kodesho be'avahu b'ratzon inchilanu Zikaron lemase bereshit Ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh Zecher litziat Mitzrayim Ki banu bachareta Veotanu kidashta Mikol hamim Beshabbat kodeshecha Be'ava u'bratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat Amen. Lechaim. So we'd like to invite So, we'd like to do the Amotzi. Emma, if can help us. And Nicole. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech. Amotzi lechem min ha'aretz. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, hey, Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom to you, Missy.